Okay, let's try it again. Let's see what we've got. Very, very smart plan. Very, very smart plan. I just got the chat rules notification on my own screen. What a pain. Okay. OBS had decided to go completely non-responsive, but then it launched a second version of itself right over top of the first one and let me force quit the first one. I can't even blame Windows for that because it was happening on Windows 10 and it's still happening on Windows 11. I think it's just a Delenn thing, you know? I upset the karma or something. Karma stepped all over my dogma. Isn't that how it works? Oh no. You can't even get the joke right. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, definitely. Big thank you to everybody who's putting up with this silliness and sticking around. Zero requirement if this sort of thing is not your cup of tea, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I should be. You guys are seeing what I've got in the corner for frames per second, so I'm dropping like a stone, and I have no clue why. Hobo Zim? Really? Neon, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to Hobo Zim for the follow, and to Neon Traveler for first here! Well, you know, I guess when I have to reboot things and I have a second stream start, you do get to be first here more than once. I don't know. I blame Twitch being twitchy. Yeah. I really do blame Twitch being twitchy. I mean, for example, like all of my chat settings stuff is normally dark mode, and when I reboot everything, it went back to being light mode. I was like, are you kidding me? Are we back in the Stone Age? Alright. Hello! Hello! Oh my god. CJ Bot! Aha! What would it take for me to go to your place and take out all the birch? A reason to put in a build in its place. I'm not here for the birch just because for the birch. I actually want to put a build in there. Think of... Oh shoot, I can't remember what it's called. Give me a quick sec. Worlds. Edit. I'm trying to remember what the world was called. Ooh. There we go. So the, I think it's a Zelda thing. I think if any of you are familiar with Zelda, one of the buildings going in this space is going to be a cathedral. But in giving you an idea of minimum scale, think of the Zelda's Temple of Time. So I've thought about basing off that one and then just building the rest of the facilities that you would need for a monastery around that. But I'm trying to decide if I want to do that or if I want to actually rebuild last year's church because I'm quite happy with it and then just expand from there. Aw, sad. Yeah. Yeah, birch is one of those ones for which, in the right circumstances, I would not necessarily have an issue with fire spread. I can do things with it. I don't mind the trees on the whole, but my goodness, they get everywhere so fast. Like, it's funny, but it's one of the most annoying trees in a mod that I can't remember if it's in default game now, but at least in mods where if you don't pick up saplings, they'll plant themselves. Those sorts of mods. I find birch to be one of the worst for that. One would think oak would be second, but I actually think that spruce is probably second in that range. Yeah, they're great stickwood, I know. I use them a lot for, actually, I guess if you put it that way, I use them a lot for free arrows from the Fletcher when I just can't be bothered. I don't have to worry about looking for flint or getting chickens or anything like that. I just have Fletcher, who's my stick man, stick guy, there you go, and then I just take the birch, pay him, we're good. Wow, I'm getting so turned around today, it's not funny. It's not just the puffiness. Well, that's pretty rough. Let's see, yeah, I'm getting 160, which is it's great, I guess, but sometimes I'm up in the 300 range, so something is really sick in this computer. And I have a suspicion I know what it is, actually, just now that I think about it. This project I'm working on for the Magic thing, I think just having video references for that in my other tabs for my browser seems to be pushing it over the edge. It's like it needs to keep re-accessing YouTube to try and get the footage over and over again. If I think about it properly, I should have, could have, would have downloaded the video clip I was looking at, and then I wouldn't have this problem. But, you know, that would require forethought, and that would also require me not actually working on any other things I should be doing. You heard me whining far too much about the first aid course. I was working on it last night while watching DC, so that's part of why I wasn't very chatty in DC's stream. And it was just... I'm sorry, I don't need to know the guy who started up Red Cross. Just the fact that it exists and it does what it does is good enough for me. Thanks a million. You know? And the long and the short of it is, if you don't have permission to help somebody, don't do anything. It's not rocket science, people. But apparently it's rocket science enough that we actually have to bother teaching this and wasting 10 minutes of people's time on reading that stuff. The thing I don't like about birch trapdoors, in all honesty, and one of the things that make me tempted to get a resource pack for that one, is that with birch trapdoors, they all look like they have like a white paper center, sort of like you would expect a Japanese screen to look, which is fine if that's the look you're going for. If you're doing something that does not work well with that look, I would really rather have like a white or a lighter version of say, the oak trapdoor. Maybe not necessarily birch in the way that the spruce looks, but I mean, I could do either a light version of the oak trapdoor style of trapdoor, or maybe a light version. Actually, it would be quite nice to have a light version of like the chocolate bar sort of thing that you've got going with the dark oak. I think that would be really quite nice. I would not be a fan of doing it with the strange shapes that they've put into the warped wood and crimson wood trapdoors. Those ones, I don't particularly like them. I mean, I use them. You'll see some in my Mismade Lady build, but there is not a whole lot of use for them in the rest of the world for me, unless exception on that one is because of their fireproofness. It's just become a habit of mine to build my chicken cookers with those as my chicken container zone. So it's sort of like you've got cage bars. Nice little cage bars for the chickens. Makes it easy to open up and feed them and so on for extra breeding. Yeah. I also discovered this morning, thanks to Brief's help, although I will say Fantastic Sherlock Fox is partially culpable, that this lip that I'm standing nearby, yeah, you can't exactly just go running off the edge and successfully hit the water. I kind of went semi-splat. I hadn't taken off my armor, but I did take off the elytra so that I wouldn't just cheat and glide down. And had a good bounce off the edge. Can we get up? If Delenn doesn't have a tech issue in her stream, it hasn't been a proper Delenn stream yet, right? It's either sound or video choppiness or something crashing or. Funny thing is, I have a suspicion that it wouldn't be any different whatsoever if I was to start with the just chatting section, as some streamers do, before they launch into their games. Because the things were working fine. I was AFK. I was there. You know, it's one of those, if it worked this morning, you shouldn't have to test it like you are starting from zero. But hey, shouldn't doesn't necessarily mean... Anyway, suffice to say. I told you wouldn't do it. Cute. Very true. You did. Interestingly today, though, we have 2, 4, 6 on here right now. One is probably utterly AFK. Actually, 2 are probably AFK. And and 2 more AFK, and the other one is here. So yeah, that's actually oddly a quiet day for this server, which is why the happiness is extra puzzling. Now, you guys may need to confirm for me, but is it my imagination, or in the recent updates, does it feel like stacking up is going slower than it used to? I don't just mean because we're on a server in Shoppiness. Like, has anybody found that in the solo worlds as well? Hey, Benson! Good to see you, my friend! I always like seeing your positive face. There we go. I see your smiling face. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Do I or do I not cut all the trees out before I move on? I'm hoping I can blame that on lag and rubber banding, but I swore I cut this out already. Nobi. Oh my! Fortress Farm. Ah! Okay, so there somewhere along the line there may be an internet hiccup, in addition to my computer's being as stupid as it usually is. That's fine. It's funny, you would think when one has a half-decent computer, because we made a point of getting something that was not a potato, you would think it would not have these many headaches, but it seems to be getting worse rather than better, so I think I probably did something well-intentioned that was probably not smart, and it's just coming back to bite me. We need beacons. You guys need to be able to see me beacon myself into some sort of trouble by cutting out far too much. What are we listening to? Listen! What are we listening to? It's funny, for the longest time, the only place I had heard that particular "Hey Listen," it still exists, but the only place I'd heard it was in Firepower's stream and some other thing. I think it was mostly Firepower's stream, but there was some other sound that I'd only ever heard there. So I legit at one point thought it was his kid. I was like, whoops. Nope. Certainly not. Oh, of course. I think I hit a record this afternoon. There was one tech issue when I came and sat down, which rather surprised me a lot. My bot had a fatal exception, like the streamer bot. Sure, okay, it's had fatal exceptions before, no worries. But it didn't just have a fatal exception, no, it had 622 of them. As in, like, 622 little windows popping up, claiming a fatal exception that it has to close. So, yeah, that's a record for myself I'd never seen before. I'm so glad to hear it was a good day for you, Benson. Hopefully your whole week will be continuing to look up. I got to have, sounds weird, but I was actually happy to have a somewhat Minecraft-related conversation at dinner that was not about what I was up to, which is kind of nice. Or at lunch, I guess. Fantastic Sherlock Fox is slowly getting his machine ready so that he can try and get back into the Minecraft thing so that we can have more in common together, kind of like we used to. I want to go back in the day. And so I'm excited, but it was really quite a relief, not relief, sorry, a pleasure. We had to have a conversation over lunch that was not about what I said, or what I did, or what I'm up to, or who said what in stream that we both mutually saw or were part of. It was just, it's kind of nice. It's a little different, but it's nice. And my 11-year-old is of the stage in life where he's starting to be that know-it-all. He's still learning how to handle that, but the resulting effect is sometimes I thought I knew something, and I stated it as though I knew it. And sometimes I actually had personal experience of the thing I knew, and he goes on to tell me I'm wrong. So it was the other part of the conversation that was nice to have, was somebody who actually wanted to know stuff that I legit knew, and in my own household, aside from, but for the most part, was willing to treat me as though I actually did know it. So that was quite nice too, because kids just aren't like that. My daughter rolls her eyes, and my son corrects me. So yeah, it's interesting some days. It's one of those things I never really thought mattered. I had a conversation where, you know, it was the other way around, and yes, it mattered. It felt so refreshing. Alrighty, Rude. 5:30. Wow, half hour already. Of course, 15-minute session. You know, the only frustrating part about the tech issues leading off is, aside from the optics, I mean, we all know that looks bad, but it's more that if anybody's like me, sometimes I just don't have the patience. I'm like, oh, well, there's 3 different people on I wanted to watch. This one went on, and then as soon as that person has tech issues, I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go visit somebody else while this first person sorts things out. And I may or may not come back. But anyways, okay, so derailing from being all negative on you, because that's boring. One of the plans for a little bit of time is going to be, as I said, the Mistmade Lady. We've been talking about the Doug Henning musical, which was not created for him, by the way, but, well, it was, but apparently somebody created it and then tried to hire him as opposed to the other way around. So it's not necessarily as self-aggrandizing as it could seem. But in any case, I'm talking about that, and I just figured that would be a good base spot, because I've been thinking for a while about building some Minecraft large versions of props that I've grown up knowing as a kid from my experience with the Magic World. And so I figured something like that, the Mistmade Lady or Mistmade Girl, as
of course you know all about Hogwarts.
Yay! As seen in the musical, was just sort of a good place to start, because then people could have reference for it. Hogwarts Green. Here's your new card. And green category is animals and magical creatures. So the question is, what was the name of the pet that Lily Potter gave to Professor Slughorn? So they actually want the name given to it. So not what kind of pet was it, but what was the name of the pet? It's obscure because I didn't know that one off the top of my head either. Yeah. So the full question is, what was the name of the pet that Lily Potter gave Professor Slughorn? We're looking for an actual name. So for example, CJ Bot or Hobozim would be a name. Although clearly that's not the correct answer. I know I'm causing part of my own problems here with all these entities all over the ground. Okay, no pressure. That's not something I would have known, and I don't think it plays any role in the books other than to say that Lily Potter and Lily Potter and Slughorn got along. That's really the only point to the whole thing. And I'm wandering around to try and pick up some of these bits just to see if that will help with some of this crazy lag behavior. Probably not. Trees are annoying in that way. What are we getting to? Well, we're getting a big swath. It's great. So I get to move up a little farther up towards the other snowpack, and we'll work with that space, I think. Okay. Well, in this case, the answer was Francis. Doesn't even say what Francis was. Just some sort of pet. Bit of a rip-off question, so I'll give you one extra one. Green, you had said, right? Well, FSF? Oh, okay. This is one you guys probably will know. So green again, once again, magical creatures or animals. What is the name of the Weasley's old owl? Yes, what is the owl's name? And in response to your question, Benson, I don't believe, like, he has selected one. I don't know if he has submitted his name for whitelisting yet. I know he was running some tests just to see if things would actually even boot properly. Did he have it all installed correctly and such? Also, he's really, really rusty. So he was telling me at lunch, well, actually, I guess he can tell for himself, but he was basically saying that he was still trying to remind himself how not to drop things on the ground and how to actually punch a tree and that sort of stuff. Yep, rubber banding. Okay, so the current question on the go is what is the name of the Weasley's old owl? And I love it because apparently well, if CJ can't remember, do you want to pass it off to anyone else? Like just to open it up to other people, CJ? If you don't, you know you should know. Weirdly enough, I've heard the owl is named after an actor. I don't know if that's true or not. That's one of the theories. They're named after a real world actor. Although, I mean, if you know why, not why, or like what that real world actor was famous for, then you're far nerdier than I expected. On the other hand, there's plenty of other stuff I know. Yes, this is indeed the... You pass? Okay. Does anyone else know the name of the Weasley's owl? Ooh. Zim! Ow! Very sorry to hear that. Shame on that skeleton. Oh. Why is everybody else not seeing this? Because... there we go, let's try that. Okay. Now you guys are seeing it. Hopefully. So CJBot says that he does not know the answer to the trivia question, and he's opened it up to anybody else. The question was, what is the name of the Weasley's old owl? Crashes into windows and makes a big mess on tables. Gets him to fly straight. Nobody really knows why. People still like him. Wow. Hey. I really appreciate that, Hope Zim. That spoils all of us. I noticed that the number of people streaming from Dadcraft, being Dadcraft adjacent streamers, is growing, and it's really, really a positive thing. Then we can support each other, and we have, when we manage to sort our schedules out, and sometimes we find each other being live, then we can raid into one another. Time zones always make that a real challenge. Like, there's been a couple of times where it turns out just the way the day worked out for them, that Flaming Fox and I are streaming at the same time, which is completely different continents. And sometimes it surprises me to see James here rather than over there. But I mean, one doesn't 100% of the time. Like, we're not obligated to be continent loyal. How's that? Because I like watching the UK people and stuff all the time. What do we got? Getting there. Wow, trees. Would you please stop dropping stuff? It's kind of annoying if you do that. Okay, so if no one is interested in answering that question for the trivia, I'll read it one more time, and then after that spot, I'll answer it, or pass on the answer. So, what is the name of the Weasley's old owl? The one that delivers the mail for the Weasleys. I believe the horrible owl delivered a howler as well. So that was quite the noisy adventure from the thing. And once again, the hint, although it might be more of a red herring for some of you, the hint was that there's a rumor going around that the owl was named after a Muggle actor. A Muggle actor who actually happened to be famous for playing Robin Hood. And what that could do with the Weasleys is anybody's guess. Okie dokie. Well, okay. Okay, so the name of the owl was Errol. E-R-R-O-L. And the rumor was that he was named after the Muggle actor Errol Flynn, F-L-Y-N-N. The more or less silent movie era style of Robin Hood. Handsome, dashing, incredibly coordinated, incredibly athletic. Everything that the owl was not. But yeah, you're right. You're totally right, Neon. I have a thing for old movies, as apparently do you, but not necessarily as old. I mean, could have been worse. Could have been worse. They could have named him Danny Kaye. Or, I guess they could have named him like Kirk Douglas. That would have been really odd. Awkward, though. Alright, so there's that one. There we go. Alright, so we are at another few more minutes here. And then we'll switch over, whether... Just make a bit of progress at a time, you know, don't do all the project at once. Something I learned over the last year was when I was digging for the large carpet art, was to not do everything all at once. Nice! Cool. Well, then you might also be interested to know, I've been discussing the Brother Cadfael stuff, the TV series that was made, and oddly enough, they shared the same Hungarian national studio during the filming that was later used for a TV series of Robin Hood. So there you go, there's your Robin Hood connection. As weird and obscure as that is. Yeah, I found an old LiveJournal post, someone who was doing a bunch of side-by-side screenshots, and it's very, very clear that those are the same filming location. Can't blame them. I mean, the Hungarians deserve to make money out of their national places as anybody else. Yeah, that is pretty cool. They've changed different parts of it, but little things like, if you want something to be a castle, then you might have gates and stuff on your castle. Whereas if you want it to be a monastery, it might just have an arch. Like just the stone arch without the metal grates and so on. That sort of thing. So it's really kind of interesting to see how stuff like that has progressed, I guess. I swear this is going to drive me crazy. Alright. I'm just with this little bit of rubber banding, I think that's what's cut. Welcome on in. I'm getting spoiled by a raid. Well, thank you very much. Welcome in, Caring with Colors. Welcome in, Raiders. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Caring Love. Ooh. Well, thank you so much, Caring with Colors. I appreciate it. So, my fine friend, what were you up to in stream today? Now, if you guys are getting pre-roll ads or anything like that, I'll hold off for a second or two for the answer, and then share it again just so that people who are stuck with ads can let that part roll on by. But thank you very much for coming through. Fantastic Sherlock Fox. You're right on it today. I love those hearts. Those Carrying with Colors hearts are always welcome. Really well done. So for any of you who are not... What? I see what's going on. Okay. For any of you who are not familiar, my name is Delenn Russell, and I'm a Canadian mom who streams, and right now my kids are actually getting what we love to call electronics time. So they actually have access to their own laptops and tablets and whatever to play games they want to play. And so while they're doing that, I like to stream. I also tend to stream 3 times a week while they're at school. So the resulting effect is I've got Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays I do a noon to 2 Eastern-ish slot. Sometimes I run long. But the thing I do is I play Minecraft. Multiple different styles of Minecraft. So sometimes modded, sometimes vanilla, sometimes other weird creative ideas. Right now, I'm actually just clearing out space. It's a little bit of boring clear cutting, but I'm not here for the whole time. What I'm doing is just making some space, as you can see here. Check it up in the top corner. Making some space because I'm working on a project. Where are we here? Live. References. Okay. So this is the Abbey section of a project that I'm working on for Brother Cadfael, the monk. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's a pretty long one. But let's turn this one off. So last season I built that. That's a picture of the monk from the Cadfael series. Ooh. And back that down just a second. And so this season I decided I would build roughly Shrewsbury, the fictional version, sort of based on his books. And then if we quote unquote zoom in to the right hand side, then we get the monastery. This one, yes, over here. And we're going to try and put that in the zone that we're cleaning out on the right hand side. But let's turn that off. Okay, there we go. So Carrying with Colors, you were busy building a zombie farm extension to get zombie villagers. Ah! So are you, is this like with an eye to zombify villagers and, oh jeez, to zombify villagers and then cure them for the purposes of a trading hall? Or is there some other particular use of zombie villagers that I'm not aware of? Because that's a very good use for zombie villagers. You know, in all honesty, I've never built a zombie farm. It's one of those things that's on my list at some point. I mean, I've never really built any sort of spawnery-based farm before. I usually do more of the general mob farm, you know, where you make it all dark. And it just works, kind of thing. Actually, where am I going here? Yeah. Clean up the zone back and forth. So I've just only ever made the general type, but a zombie farm sounds like a bit of a challenge. Hopefully they didn't get too many nibbles on your toes while you were building on that. And I do apologize. Ooh. That's interesting. I heard it. I don't know what that was for. Okay, cool. Could be a tech issue, but I love that sound. So I said you made a villager dungeon last week to connect it to a spawner and turned it into a functioning farm. Ah, I see. Okay. So is it one of the ones then where the villagers get to see the zombies dying, and then because of that, they voluntarily drop their prices because you're sort of like savior of the village or something? I've heard of people doing that. I just had not seen it. Next question actually was, which format of Minecraft are you choosing to play this in? That also makes a difference to some of the mechanics, right? Apologies for it being choppy. I'm not used to this. Don't know quite what's got us working with some lag or some choppiness. Because my frames per second is usually up in the 300s, like low 250s, 300s, and down in the 70s and 80s today. So I don't know what's got me confused. Yeah, so my bits don't seem to be complaining. Who knows? Who knows? Not exactly. They chase you to their new home where you heal them, and I'll be placing beds in for. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, okay. So basically a trading hall of sorts. But you're using the mechanic of them already being a zombie villager as part of the moving. That's handy. I hadn't thought about it that way. There's so many people that do it the other way around, where they get their villagers and doing what they want to do with them, and then they zombify and cure, but you're going the other way around. I like that a lot. That actually sounds really handy. Because my base this season is semi-lore based, but I guess one could also say quasi-realistic because it's loosely inspired by a fictional take on a real place. I will, like last season, I will not be zombifying and curing my villagers, but I mean, I have no objections having villager-run farms, and I do have an iron farm, so I don't have to go digging for iron. So that just offers me stuff that I can trade to the villagers, which is a no-effort thing. You just end up spending time, really is the big one. Oh, okay. Ooh. Neon, I'm going to have to get tips and tricks from you on putting linseed oil on walking staves, because that's something that our scouts have been working on, was making staves when we were working on the end of last season and first part, last year for scouting, and then the first part of this year in the fall. They were working on staves, and there's a bunch of them that are probably at the point where they could boil them, but they don't know anything about it. Neither do I. My version was just going au naturel, where it's pretty plain and just deburred it. And then I've got myself I'm going to have a paracord wrap for the handle. But beyond that, I think oiling them would be really cool. Well, let me know how it goes. I'm very, very curious. Oh, so moving zombie village a lot easier than normal village. Well, yeah, that would make sense. The only major difference I could see, and not necessarily one over the other, just a difference, to each person's taste, is zombie villagers will follow you, which is fantastic. But if you need to try and then back them into a particular corner, something where it's not planned for you to be able to go through and have them stuck behind, and it can be a little difficult to pen in. At least that's what I find when I try to use a zombie villager in my iron farm. The whole plan was to fill the place at one point with zombie villagers, and then just cure them all, so that I could get a double purpose out of it. Yeah, I ended up dead, so that was just my poor planning. But I really admire people who are willing to take that sort of zombie villager chase you type of thing to the next level and make use of it, because it's there for a reason, and I find it really interesting to see the creative ways people use to make that work in their favor. It's funny because I usually end up with too much iron in fairly short order if I actually build a farm, so I don't always bother with a very complicated farm. And the fact that this season, for some reason, my farm is far less productive than I remember the previous ones being, even though the design is identical. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but on the other hand, I'm not fussing too much because I have more iron than I need, and being that I'm playing on Java, the conversational mechanic is a right royal pain sometimes, because unless I spawn-proof the place pretty heavily, I get things showing up here, there, and everywhere, whether I want them or not. You made it your mission this season to build big and build detailed, so you've had a lot of fun. 2 hours, 4 days, on just your house alone. I don't know if I'd say I have a house this season yet. Honestly, I hadn't even put that in the plan. I don't know if you've gotten to see the castle. Yeah, that's probably it. You're probably right, Hobos. And particularly since I do know that sometimes we can have a little bit of a challenge too when we've got multiple people in different dimensions all at the same time. And I believe CJRV Williams was in the end for a while, and I believe you were hanging out in the Nether working on your fortress farm. And there's blaze farms and stuff going on while I'm over here. So yeah, okay, so you have seen the castle. It's pretty big, but I still haven't done it. Now that takes, I think it's version 5 before I was happy with it. So I'm going to leave it like that. It's still anachronistic and historically incorrect, but it does the job. And it's got enough of the elements of a proper Motte and Bailey castle by historical standards that I'm pleased with it, partly because you tell somebody, oh, hey, I did a castle, and they go, cool, what kind? And really the only types they're thinking of is medieval in the stone and wood, square, picture Robin Hood type of thing. Or they picture like a fantasy castle.
Hello there.
White ivory look and so forth. Well, that's new. What's new, Stormy? That I'm not working on my castle? Good to see you, Stormy. Welcome in, welcome in. Must be Wednesday. All the cool people are showing up. Every single one of them. Yeah, last season I got really fussy about my church, and I'm thinking this season I might... You reached a milestone? Oh. Okay. Oh! Your watch streak. I see. I see. Huh. That's pretty cool. By the way, I'm not gonna be one of those people, but I guess I will be one of those people, just for a brief moment, so bear with me. This is kind of like that whole, click the follow, blah, 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 blah thing. I'm not that person. But ever since the host element has disappeared, we've gotten able to host each other's channels. I think the other thing Twitch has put in place is that we get the highlights for when people are coming in with raids. That allows us to say hello and actually pay attention to you, make everybody feel valued. At least that's the intent. The side effect for that, though, is that we get, once that feature has been it's run its usefulness, then what it ends up being is a golden rectangle around the text, which can be a little bit distracting to a streamer. But also another way to support a streamer for free is if you're on a PC, for example, or a Macintosh, so a personal computer of sorts, Windows, whatever, and you go ahead and click twice. That's not a double click, but click twice on the logo for the streamer. Then you can actually get yourself out of that raid referral and straight into being a direct viewer. And I'm not one of those ones that says, I need my numbers high. That's not what it's for. I find it will also take out the that came in with so-and-so's raid box, and that just makes it a little bit easier for me to read through chat and make sure that everybody gets the valued attention that I think they all deserve. Fantastic Sherlock Fox, quick question for you. How are the shoutouts behaving at the moment? I know they were being cranky this morning, or this afternoon, or whatever, earlier in the day. Are they any better at the moment? The other thing is, I'm not sure where the watch streak came from, because I believe my bot might be tracking that separately. I don't think it's got a watch time milestone thing, but maybe it does as one of the features that I just hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to. My first key was, does it function? Can people pull it up? I believe exclamation point watch time should work for everybody. Just to see how much time it thinks you've watched. That's assuming the bot's been working. But once that was functioning, I didn't think about it more beyond that, because as Stormy's well aware, and as those of you who were in here earlier are well aware, sometimes this channel's a little bit sketchy with regards to its technical stability. Yeah. I'm just quite curious. I was as surprised by that as you were, Stormy. Oh, in that case, yeah, it's definitely a Twitch. You can now redeem this. Oh, one of those. Yeah. You've now watched such and such an amount, so you now have enough points to do this thing. Okay, so we have gone. Just going to square up a little bit on the end here so that we can actually look at a space and see whether or not our new building will actually fit. The more I think about it, for my sanity this season, I think what I might do is get a copy of last season's church. I know that doesn't sound all that super exciting, but the Norman Norman Gothic style was pretty consistent across the country. So I might get a copy of that and just turn it into a schematic and speed build. Because speed by Delen's standards and speeds by everybody else's standards are two completely different things. Ask Stormy. She is so much faster with her builds than I am. But anyways, turn it into a Lightmatic or a schematic. And just get that one built. And then this season's new piece to go with that will be expanding around the cathedral portion to the other portions of what would be in a monastery to look at the other facilities. Because really, our main character, and not myself, but the Brother Cadfael, was a monk in his herb workshop and at large. And then there's various different other sites around the church where different things, around the monastery and the town and stuff, different things happen. So in order to to actually progress through the season building a multitude of different things, I think it's probably worth me spending time on the stuff that's new and rehashing the stuff that doesn't need to be new.
Hello.
That's the plan. Welcome in, Owl Poppins. Welcome, welcome. The man who never really quite leave, because apparently Butter Oswin has fallen in love with your user pick. We see Sassy quite a lot when people first make a comment and then it pulls up the incorrect user picture. It loves Sassy. Yeah. Okay, where are we here? I'm gonna square off here. I mean, you can see from the mini-map, I've got Zero's mini-map installed and it has an entity type thing. So every one of these little sticks and saplings and whatnot that's falling is a pink dot on that mini-map in the corner. So if having things on the ground is part of the problem with lag, I'm causing my own issues, right? I do have a hoe, but it's really not worth it because I'm not collecting the leaves. And the one I've got on me right now is not a, what do you call it? Not a Silk Touch one either. So it's not like it's gonna make much difference, just waste of time, move on, get the trunks done, and then let some of this stuff despawn while I'm doing AFK for something else. Alright, but we have done, well, taken us to the hour. Where is, looking at the map here, and looks like I've left some really weird stuff over there. And I think what's probably going on with some of these, we've had a little bit of rubber banding. So what's happening with the rubber banding is that I chopped down a tree. In some cases I've even climbed up to it with dirt, chop out the center section, because I really dislike floating trees. And due to the rubber banding, it unfortunately, yeah, there we go. It puts a block back, one or more, and then the section just will not despawn. Okay, that should get rid of that one. I'll put a bit of a round area. So from here, I'm just going to fly back to base and put this guy in a little bit of some AFK. Woo! Well, that's fun. I'm going to fly and there's like nothing to fly into. Ooh, yeah. For curiosity, I'm exploring. I haven't actually taken too much look this time, but I'm exploring an alternative Twitch chat add-on, which will hopefully allow some of the icons from emotes and such to be displayed actually in the Twitch chat on the screen here for like part of the in-game chat. Huh. Okay. Sticks. Oh, anything briefly. Not bad. Most of it's not bad. What's this? Oak. Why do I have oak stuff in two different places? That's my own fault. Yeah, that's my own fault. Oak fence, go over there. Weird. I don't know. Do not know. And more sticks than you can shake a stick at, no bad puns intended. Let's go get rid of those at the stick guy. And my intent is to put the character here into AFK, and then head out and do a little bit on the quote-unquote magic box. see. See about that. Oh, you stole my bed again, you punk. No problem. Yeah, sleep tight. Hopefully you have some good dreams, and we will see you again soon, Colors. Thank you very, very much for bringing your people by. I really appreciate that. I hope I can keep them entertained. Ah, take that. You with no bed. Here, you can come and have a bed. You have faith I will. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Platonic virtual hugs, if you're into that sort of thing. Oh. Hang on a sec. I believe we have a lot of villagers. Yep. They're being social. Being social again. Okay. So, I'm going to work a little bit on, oh right, I wanted the stick guy. Where was I? Where did I put the stick guy? No, you're not the stick guy. There you are. I'm going to work a little bit on the Mismade Lady box. It's just literally, it's a box. But we won't be there forever. And then we'll come back, and what I'm going to suggest that we do afterwards is actually to spend a little bit of time moving some of these punks around. Not that I don't like them, but, and while it's convenient to have them all in one spot like this, I think what I'm going to do is give some of them their own houses by theme. Ooh. But in the meantime, I could always use some more iron to trade, so I'm just going to go over there. Cross my fingers that the machine will handle it at this point. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. Yeah, that's odd when they even lose their jobs. Bad though. Ooh. But the oof that you're hearing out of me is that a bit of the janky jitteriness gives me a bit of a headache. We'll just have to see. Hobozim is trying his best to make farms that aren't going to lag everyone else. It's legit Hobozim, probably not you. Okay. So that. I'm going to have to mute this one. Options sound. Because if I don't mute this one, it'll really confuse me. Done. Alright. So, what you're going to see me hopefully do, if it doesn't crash, I'm trying to boot another version of the game. This is, in this case, is Prism Launcher for the win. I'm going to grab a quick hydrate. I think I need to wash my carbon filter. So far, the launcher seems to think it's working. Maybe, kind of, sort of. Maybe. Alrighty. Ooh. In my launch, there's a lot of red text. That's a little bit concerning. And I think plan... Oh. No, still loading. Alright. There's that one. Push this thing. Why not? Why not? So, while that's doing its thing, there's always a while. Meanwhile, uh-oh. Yep, my game is definitely doing something funky because it started running the keyboard on its own. You think there's a bit of a problem? Thanks, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I believe this is the hype tracks list from let's double checking here. Yep, the 100 Thieves hype tracks. High energy music to game to, stream to, and use in your YouTube and Twitch montages. So Stream Beats and 100 Thieves came together to give the world's best gaming music. So Stream Beats, for those of you that are familiar with it, is another one of those Harris Heller projects. He's all over the place. Used to have a channel called Alpha Gaming, which has then changed its name to Senpai Gaming. And Senpai Gaming has quite a lot of reviews and his particular tips, tricks, thoughts, etc. There. This is the one I want, I'm hoping. Version. Yep, okay. So, I'm glad you like the tunes. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't. I don't remember what I was here for. There's something I was going to do. Oh, there's a cat. Hello? You gonna leave me a mystery string? Whoa! Apparently I'm going to run over the cat. Alright. This one? Please? Okay. Let's get ourselves somewhere AFK. And then we can get ourselves going. Hopefully I don't run over the edge. The other one seems to have launched. I know that I'm going to have some problems with the way the inventory looks on that one. I don't quite understand why. The vanilla works fine, but yeah. So this one, themes. This is what happens when I share one screen. Minecraft game. Properties. No, not that one. Alright. Now you're seeing what I'm seeing. Oh, whatever. Okay. Thanks, world. Can you load? And once again, we always have references. No, not the Shrewsbury one. Close that off. Aha. I get paid. This is going to be a really blurry picture, unfortunately. Just because I'm grabbing it in short order. Save. It's fine, can that stop save? Where'd the other one go? I had two pictures of this thing. Pause. So I'm hearing weird music because there we go. Okay. Yeah. So once again, another frozen shot of stuff going on. So let's grab this one. There we go, and save. All right. You guys will know what I'm talking about in just one sec. Shake. Okay, so let's get that. And we need an image. Where's my images? Image 4, sure. Desktop. Just grabbing screenshots left, right, and center today. Actually, we'll have better ones at some point, but I didn't think it through. I was working on some other first aid stuff. Where did you go? Ah. This one. A little big, but it'll do the trick. All right. Live references. This one. So that's basically what we're building. I'm stuck inside. We're in creative. We won't spend forever in here. But I just want to do a little bit of work now. Earlier on, I'd made my box in 3 colors, and I was going to look for a 4th one. But when I did more research, I found out that the version that the magician in question used is always that blue one with the rainbow and the clouds. So you can see that down here, I'm starting to find my palette of what I'm going to be using instead. I'm going to go with the light blue concrete, and then instead of the white, we've got some ice colors just to fill in for now, and then we'll change it up to rainbows and clouds afterwards. But the key part to start with is the base. The weird little white stripe you're seeing on there is the fact that I just screen grabbed that out of a out of a YouTube video. Now, it's not the solid base. Weirdly, I've been inside one of these things, so it's a solid base, which is why I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression by making a hollow one for cheaty convenience. I mean, it is Minecraft, but it's still creative, so I have access to all the parts I want. Whereas in regular stuff, oh, I know what you guys are doing. Hang on a sec here. Alerts. I don't know why that game doesn't want to show. This one. Nope. AES. What am I missing? Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, let's try this again. Refresh this one. I guess I'll have to blank that one because it's not the question or the game actually live in odd. Sorry guys. It's supposed to pop up on screen by default. I don't know what it's doing. And is incorrect. Oh. I'd forgotten that Hangman may not have a correct sound. Boo-boo on my part. Right here. Oh, it's not. It hurts. Parts that are working and parts that aren't. I don't know. On integration. Apps. Yes. Connect, please. Okay, I think I got an idea. I don't even know where that word came from. It's insane. Kill the bot. The bot, you're being dumb. Yes, go away. Build some more inside. Weirdly, you guys are seeing it brighter than I am, actually. Escape options. Video. Revolving quality. Particles, lighting. Clouds, blah blah blah. Effect performance. Event. Brightness. Right. Okay, well it should be fine. I think it's just I must have bumped. Yeah, there we go. I've bumped things. What it is. Not seeing the light. Okay. You can see I've got a bit of challenge. Made some weird problems. User search. What do we got? That's exactly what I want. You can go away. Ooh, I like. I just put one on the outside. I probably did. Interesting. I'm idly curious. Uh-oh. What does that do? How far out did I stick this thing? That's not too bad, okay. It doesn't actually go outside stuff, it just keeps trying to place. Interesting. Forgot I put building ones in there. There we go. That'll work. Okay, that's not the type I want. Wand, not those. Builders ones, building ones. No, not building ones. Wooden. Netherite, I'll take that. Sure. That's more what I wanted. There, that's better. Come on, give me the red. Uh-oh. I get trapped in a hole here. Faster this way. Yeah. A little faster.
Someone's at the doorbell.
Apparently there's someone at my doorbell. So says my game. Or, oh. Okay, that's what that is. I did do that wrong. I just lost control of my mouse. So you can oh, can't see it, but my mouse is gone non-responsive. Nice. Nice. I bet you OBS. Oh, it's not. Okay, good. You. Ooh, and it stalled again. Come on, mouse. Give me my stuff back. I'm gonna kick out of the previous one. Cancel. Quit. One last thing. Okay. There we go. Can you please move? So now we've got most of most of this part, which means do that. Okay, so now I have to remember. Okay, options, control, keybinds. Oops, I have wands. Build wands? No. Build guide. 3D map. Oh, it's really building wands. I think that's what I've got. Invert, rotation, undo. One menu, why? Okay. Diagonal spread's not what I wanted. See if I can find mouse wands? No. Building wands? I think that's what I want. Done. Got here. Builder's wands. Uh-oh. Escape. Mods. Builder's wands. This one. Done. Options. Not sounds. Done. Controls, keybinds. I'm looking for wands, but I have to figure out what I actually made them be. Building wand, but it's not the one I wanted. Builder's wands. Well, okay. At least it's faster than it used to be, so let's... Quick 4 pipe. No, I don't want that. Oops. Netherite wand back. And I know if I left click. Nope. I don't want to make that shape. Well, I guess we'll do the old fashioned. So now that the main section is solid, which is really the key, I can go around and make this other part blue. It is a weird word, isn't it? That's really quite odd. That's supposed to be... Yeah. Hillchamp, which art scene is showing on top, and my minigame scene is on to lunch. Huh. I swear it doesn't like me today. Must beat CJ Bot. Oh, is that up? Seriously? Can you please play properly? I'm not even sure what you guys are seeing. Apparently. It's not just the game, like it's not showing anything. Games? It's not just that. Pretty. Oh. Okay. So my OBS has dumped the target of where the game should be. Love you. Really. Champion VRF. Edit. Why? Got the sound, but it's just not playing game. I don't get it. Okay. Last place I'm going to check real quick. And then we're just going to have to say screw it for today. But I apologize, and I will definitely ensure that between myself and Fantastic
I
we
flied?
refund all the attempts.
You
You
followed.
failed! For sure. Like, I bet you my hydrates don't even work properly.
2, 4, 6, 8. Everybody hydrate.
Nope. Absolutely everything visual has lost its connection in OBS to the folder where it's supposed to point. How that happened, I will never know. I am very, very confused. Huh. Yeah, good going! Great game. Okay. So what we're gonna do... What is this? So literally, I looked up the properties for where the overlay is supposed to point for the champion game, and it literally says about : blank. So if OBS has blown itself up, I will not be a happy camper. But yeah. Plinko's not hosted with me, so let's see if that even works. Well, that one works, as useless as that is. That browser source. Paste equals. Champion. Champion name equals. I'm just doing this like classic on the fly, and that's not exactly most fun. Hill name equals G. Hill. And a server. Where's the server? File name, true name, blah 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 blah. There we go. Yeah. I only live once. Well, that's actually a relief to hear. Relief to hear. So we got donuts and things flying. We've got teapots flying out. Uh-oh, more donuts. Chucked. More donuts got chucked. And it looks like the winner is, I believe, Al Poppins is our new champion. Hangman.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, my son really likes that one. Let's say that. Okay. And then I just have to hide this for now. Bad move, definitely. So what has happened is for some reason OBS is being right royal pill and does not want to connect to anything else. So the bot is doing what it can, but we're getting weird behavior in anything but chat simply because it refuses to allow anything to connect to it. Which is really kind of odd. Okay. Why aren't you? Huh. Anyway, whatever. Let's see. Last piece. We'll get back into this one. Stream apps. Can I get either of you to connect? It's doing this thing where it's trying, but it's not being very successful. Well. Why? Why? I have absolutely no idea. Are you actually going to work now? Maybe. Kinda. Sorta. OBS is sort of connected. That's fine. Let's delete this one. There, okay. It thinks the bot is connected. Maybe kinda sorta. Action. Okay, so let's undo the piece that I just turned off. Edit. This. Save. So I'm going to give you guys a free fight. My WebSockets have gone to lunch. That's interesting and a half. This. Repeat. Wow. You know, I have a lot to learn. I have no idea how you guys are doing crazy things with funky fonts and odd bold stuff and italics and all this stuff people are doing in chat. I have no clue. Hello. No, not that. This way. Wrong! Doing it wrong. buttons.
The way you're doing it is wrong.
Yes. Cast iron skillet. Yeah, once Rapunzel figured that out, nobody is safe from that one. Alright, so this isn't a whole lot faster, but it is faster than it would have been otherwise. That one. You love cast iron skillets? Well, Rapunzel at one point makes a point of, in the movie Tangled, as no doubt the owls are well aware, the army makes a point out of it that skillets were very, very useful. So everybody, for all the soldiers, are now issued with skillets as their new weapon. Kind of funny, silly, but you know, one of those things that just makes me smile. You can drop them, you can throw them, you can drop them, you can throw them across the room and defend your kingdom with them. Exactly. Especially from evil old ugly witches who want to be beautiful forever, and that's all they care about. Well, okay. Then what say ye? Let's see if I can crash my computer any further. I'm going to try and load up one more option. I'm doing a lot of different things today. Up. Uh-huh. Nope. Nope. You does not want to do 3 things at once. That's okay. It probably needs a full-on reboot, to be honest with you. I've never seen OBS like basically barf its WebSocket connection quite like that before. That was a new one. And the reason Champion came up blank earlier on, or wasn't coming up, was because it was supposed to actually get filled in by the code in the bot. And the bot was trying to tell it, but it just wasn't. It just was not listening. Hey computer, I'm doing something behind. You don't need to give me sticky keys. Pain. It doesn't know what to do because I've asked it to open another version or another instance of Minecraft while I'm in the act of actually playing the game. It doesn't really know what to do with that. Oh, handy. I didn't know I could do that. Okay. Sure. I'll take that. Changing these colors is going a little faster with Builder 1. It beats me doing it from scratch anyways. I'd love to know if there's an easy way to get it to take all of one color out all at once, but I'm not familiar with the Builder Wand at the moment. I haven't used Builder Wands in Moon's Age. But yeah, so we're gonna basically making the one that's on screen. And I know I don't have, what do you call it, trapdoors match with it. I forgot that. Looking at the design they've got there, the actual corner itself should be black. And then there's a black stripping in between each of the boxes. So that part would be a little easier to figure out. I won't necessarily worry about the trapdoors if it ends up being a black one. As it appears it probably will be. The question is it 2 blocks high for my purposes? Oops. Or is it more than that? Pardon me, not more, less than that. Oh, whoops. Yeah, not what I wanted. Yeah, oopsie daisy. That's a boop sticker. That's what happens when I move with Builder's Wands. I get weird shapes. Don't really want a copyright strike, but if you, anybody who's a member of my Discord, we've posted in there, in the general section at the moment, a link to a video of just the illusion that this is coming from, and a link to the full show it's referencing, full musical show in there in YouTube. And so feel free to have a boo at that. And this is not, yeah, okay, so I have to make some rework on this design. That's not correct anyway. It really should be that part's smooth, right? So this side, 1 block less so that everything fits in. This one won't be color. Ice. Because the idea on this one is if it's a hinged door, it's not going to sit on top. It's actually supposed to sit flush inside. These are in the wrong spot. I think you can see I'm having fun with the bats over in here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, okay, 9. So this has got to be 8 and then a blue level. Okay. So this should be 8, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, except it's the wrong spot. That will be blue. Should visually seem to fit. So if you close the door, it's smooth. Now what you don't see there is what's inside the boxes, which we'll have to build. Is this? At the moment, that's this one. I got some weird hang-ons from the way I was filling it inside. That other wand. This is not actually white, it's going to be, I think it's ice and then blue? Yeah. So ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Ice will be 8, and then blue and green. So it's a hinge and fit in here. This whole thing is now off by 1 because of that. Sure. This ice should also not be this one. I'm going to use blue, I think. Ice. Oh, packed ice. Is packed ice see-through? Let's find out. Packed ice, are you see-through? No, that'll work. I want blue instead. Check. No, you want that. Okay. Let's go with the blue ice. Sure, why not? Okay, so these are all wrong, but that's okay. We can worry about that another day. Just rebuild this part from the top. The idea is if the hinge is here, and the next block would have been here closed. But then it's now open. It should be there, I think. That's my guess, anyways. It'll do. It makes the point, right? That. Huzzah. Blue ice. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what this thing can do without breaking things. Blue ice is a bit busy. Yeah, I'm only going to the top of the hour, and then I'm going to transfer out. We'll see. Who's on Wednesdays? Double check. Just make sure my brain is not completely crazy. We have some favorites from our community on Wednesdays. I was under the impression that we did, but now I'm not so sure. The blue's looking kind of busy, but honestly, the white's almost worse. The white, so the regular ice is almost worse. I don't know which one I like better. I'm streak here. Or if I even like that at all. It's supposed to be a blue sky, right? What else have we got? We've got blues. That might work in a frame, but it's kind of a teal color. What do I have? Gray? American gray? Cyan's kind of bluey. Still not right. Okay. Yep, I'm just gonna go with blue ice and leave it at that. Why not? Alright, so let's take this layer out. Come on. Didn't take that long. Now the reason we had to make this solid is really it is just a solid base to step on. So by the nature of the trick, it's got to be steady, firm, because you're going to be shoving it around. This version doesn't have wheels on it, but the stage version actually would have wheels on it on the bottom. You're rolling it around, and the boxes themselves can't be super thick or super heavy because you're gonna have a person in them. And okay, spoiler alert, you're carrying around pieces of that person. That's where the whole mismade element comes from. Is quite literally, oh, actually that's not bad, quite literally hanging around. Okay, so I can take out this and make it all blue ice. I really do recommend checking out that musical. Yes, I'm enamored with, well, I was gonna say I was enamored with Magician back in the day, but I mean, I was like, what, 12? Not even? And besides, the guy's dead now, so, you know, it's kind of crazy to have a cheesy hippie crush on a guy who isn't even here anymore. Also famous for the amazingly benign phrase, "Don't blink or you'll miss." And a lot of the "watch closely." Yeah, so we're going to build the boxes, then we're going to put on rainbows and such. And then, as you can see from the doors being open in this side, we will actually go ahead and make the mismade woman inside. Person, sorry. I haven't decided who I'm putting inside. So the idea with the way this thing works is that someone gets inside, they close up all the doors, then they have divider pieces that go in, and then the top 3 boxes get taken around and sort of shuffled like a 3-card Monty. No, I'm not. But shuffled around like a 3-card Monty and then replaced back in a different order on top of the bottom one. And then the person inside, you open up the doors and they're revealed to be mixed up. But then after that, we go and we take apart all of the insides. Like we take apart the boxes and shuffle them around again to put them back in the correct order where you started with, and the person comes out unharmed. But yeah. Now, I will say I do know how this one is done. And it's probably pretty obvious, but if it's not, I have zero intention of giving it away. Because, well, 1, I don't want to get in trouble. 2, it's just tacky. And 3, that just defeats the point of the illusion part of it. And I'm building these for the illusion effect, not for the here's how it's done effect. So yeah. Not going to say what it is, but there are stuff about the builds that will not be accurate to the real deal, simply because it would give away the gimmick, really. Actually, I think it might be fun, now that I think about it, Fantastic Shockbox, if I built a version of Penn and Teller's trapdoor. They have that one section in the trapdoor illusion, or well, it's also known as Blast Off. And they have a portion of the illusion where they have an entirely plexiglass replica of the original illusion set that they start. There actually is no illusion to that one at all, to be honest with you. But what they do is they show you exactly what's being done in the original. So the whole thing is like a big clear version of the original, and they go through the entire routine again with the music and everything, showing you exactly how it's done. So I think it might be kind of fun if I did a version of that, of Blast Off. Okay, so level 1 is done. Alright. What have we got accomplished so far? Lots and lots of technical hiccups, which is puzzling as all get out. And then, for this particular model, technically I've got these doors on the wrong side. So I can decide if I want to change that. I've opened them in the way the lady gets in, but I've got it. But this is actually set up in the way that should be showing off after they've been shuffled. Code of Conduct. Well, yes. The number of lawsuits the Mask Magician got involved in was really kind of sad, to be honest with you. Like, do I want to move it or not? Oh, one way or the other, I need to redo the box. So let's just go with that for a couple minutes, and then we'll see who's around. This bit. Looking at that, actually, the corner itself should be black. Right, so I should probably deal with that. There we go. Yeah. That's what I'm missing. So it shouldn't be 2 blocks deep, it should be 1. This top one should be black. I mean, there's a code of conduct. Yeah, the number of lawsuits the Mask Magician got himself into after exposing how things are done, some people got really, really upset over that. I think more of it was that it wasn't just that he exposed how it was done for a lot of these things. He just did it in such a tacky way. Like, it wasn't giving respect to the magicians who make their living off this sort of thing. There's something to be said for, you know, being a fan of the artistry. But, yeah. I mean, though I will give another piece to that puzzle in that Penn Jillette himself was actually part of a, not a club, but a society of skeptics so people who are skeptical of many different phenomenon such as psychics and mediums and that sort of jazz. Kind of like part of how I found out about that was because of my interest in Arthur Conan Doyle. But in any case, the point. Whoop, sorry, Bat. What I was trying to make though is that so one of the things that he kind of got a little bit hot water for by being a skeptic is using mentalism tricks and things, but showing how it was done to basically expose fake mediums who were trying to convince people they were real and make money, make a buck off them. And his issue with it is he doesn't care if it's being done as an illusion. As if somebody says, yes, this isn't real, this is an illusion, we're not going to tell you how it's done, but they're not going to make people believe something that isn't there. Whereas some of these people do that. Like, that's kind of their shtick, that's how they make their money, is with fakery and trickery. And he took a real issue to that. I'm not really sure what I think of that, like whether I agree with him doing that or not, but needless to say, they got upset with him, and the same with the magicians got upset with the guy who called himself the Mask Magician. I don't think I've ever seen bats hang upside down in broad daylight like that. That's kind of cool. Top the hour, but no rush. Yes, got it. Okay, so let's just do a quick check and see if it wants to cooperate. Who my computer is trying to tell me might be live. Refresh. What do we have? Got a lot of unusual stuff. I've got everything from Don't Starve Together, whatever that is, to some chatting stuff about Lego, science and technology, SnowRunner, I don't even know what that is. What else have we got here? Ugh. Too many things, too many choices. Okay, so I got it down to 2. We're going to either, we're going to go either to Zeroed playing Minecraft by himself, or to Griffin Prime playing MC Bingo with his friends, with his community. So I'm looking at either Zeroed doing a Sasquatch Park path in hard mode, or Griffin Prime doing Bingo with friends. Yeah, people are fine. I just have zero preference. Because what I've been doing is so different than either one of them. You know what? I think I've been very solo and conversation. That doesn't always work well to then raid into a community of rather noisy situation because of the multiple different channels and stuff. I think we're gonna go see Zeroed and give him our best. And I will just get that raid started, and then we can say our thank yous and goodbyes. Where'd that button go? Where'd my magic button go?
Mischief managed.
It worked! Alrighty. So you can see there's the 2 raid messages there. Do remember to give Zeroed your support by switching into direct viewer on Zero's channel. Thank you to Huge Stormy Owl, Neon Traveler, Owl Poppins, and CJ Bot, as well as Benson, and a couple others I missed. I do apologize. Neon and James, and Hobo Zim. Ooh, and Karen Kellers, thank you ever so much for your raid. That was very much appreciated. Yeah, and I think that covers everybody. So, we had some great games this evening. We had some crazy games this evening. We did a lot of tree chopping, and we did a bunch of boxes. Boxes, and more boxes. So we'll return periodically to some of these projects, but in the meantime, let's have everybody head on over to Zeroed, give him our best, and I will be joining you very shortly. And for those that are heading on after Zeroed, straight on into Dadcraft, I will see you there. So have yourselves a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.